Have you ever looked at your parents and suddenly noticed they've gotten old? Not in a dramatic way, not all at once, but in the quiet details you somehow missed while you were busy building your life somewhere else. The way their hands move a little slower when they pour your tea. The way they repeat the same story twice in one evening and don't realize it. The way the house that once felt too small now feels too big around them. This is a story about a daughter who took the same train home every month, and how she learned that time doesn't announce itself. It just slips away. Her name was Yuki, 28 years old, marketing manager in the city. Every last Friday of the month, she'd leave work early, walk to the station, and take the 6:47 express train home. 2 hours through the countryside, past rice fields and small towns and mountains that turned purple at dusk. She'd done this for 3 years now, ever since she moved away. At first, it felt like an obligation, a duty, something children are supposed to do. But somewhere along the way, it became the part of her month she looked forward to most. Not because home was exciting, but because it was still. Her parents would be waiting at the station. Her father always 10 minutes early, hands in his jacket pockets. Her mother right beside him, waving the moment she spotted Yuki through the crowd. The same routine. Every month. Dinner. Tea. Stories about the neighbors. Her mother asking if she was eating enough. Her father pretending to read the newspaper but mostly just listening. And then Sunday morning, she'd take the train back. It was simple. It was enough. Until the month she almost didn't notice. It was October when she first saw it. Her father struggling, just slightly, to lift her bag into the car. A bag he'd carried 100 times before without a second thought. She offered to help, but he waved her off with a smile. "I'm fine. Just didn't stretch this morning." But she saw the way he gripped the door frame to steady himself. That night at dinner, her mother served the same miso soup she always did. But this time, she'd forgotten the green onions. A small thing, meaningless really. Except her mother never forgot the green onions. Yuki didn't mention it. Neither did her father. They ate in the warm, familiar silence they always did. But Yuki felt something shift inside her chest. A quiet unease she couldn't name. Later, as she helped wash the dishes, she watched her mother's hands under the water. When had they become so thin? When had the veins started showing through like that? Her mother caught her staring and laughed. "What? Do I have soap on my face?" Yuki smiled. "No, Mom, nothing." But that night, lying in her childhood bed, staring at the ceiling she used to know every crack of, she couldn't sleep because for the first time, she realized her parents were getting old, and she'd been too far away to notice. November. Her father moved slower going up the stairs. December. Her mother asked her the same question twice. "How's work, sweetheart?" January. The house felt colder, not because of winter, but because it felt bigger, quieter. February. Her father fell asleep in his chair right after dinner, something he swore he never did. March. Her mother's handwriting on the grocery list had gotten shaky. Every month, Yuki saw something new. Small changes, little losses, things that would mean nothing to a stranger. But to her, they were earthquakes. And the most terrifying part? She didn't know when it had started. Had it been happening all along, and she just wasn't paying attention? Had she been so focused on her own life, her deadlines, her presentations, her carefully curated plans, that she missed her parents quietly aging in the background? One evening in April after dinner, Yuki stayed at the table while her father dozed and her mother knitted by the window. The golden light came through the curtains the way it always had. The clock ticked the way it always had. Everything looked the same, but nothing felt permanent anymore. And Yuki realized something that made her throat tighten. One day, she would take that train home, and they wouldn't be waiting at the station. That's when she decided to change something. Not everything. She couldn't move back. She still had her job, her life, but she could change how she spent those weekends. So in May, instead of scrolling her phone on the couch, she asked her father to teach her how to fix the garden gate he'd been meaning to repair. They spent 2 hours in the sun, barely talking, just working side by side. And when they finished, her father looked at the gate, then at her, and said, "You know, I'm glad you're here." In June, she helped her mother organize old photo albums. They sat on the floor surrounded by pictures of Yuki as a child, gap-toothed, wild-haired, covered in mud. Her mother laughed until she cried. "You were such a messy kid. I was always worried." Yuki looked at her. "About what?" "That you wouldn't be okay out there, in the big world." Yuki reached over and squeezed her mother's hand. "I'm okay, Mom, because of you." In July, she didn't bring her laptop. In August, she stayed an extra day. In September, she cooked dinner for them. And somewhere in all of that, she stopped seeing her visits as an obligation. She started seeing them as a gift, not just to her parents, but to herself. Because here's the truth nobody tells you when you're young. Your parents won't always be there. One day, the station will be empty. One day, the house will be silent. One day, you'll wish you could have one more dinner, one more conversation, one more quiet Sunday morning. And the tragedy isn't that life ends. The tragedy is how easy it is to forget it's happening right now. Yuki still takes the 6:47 train every month, but now she doesn't see it as going backward. She sees it as coming home, to the people who taught her how to walk, who stayed up when she was sick, who worried when she left, who waited at the station every single time. Because love isn't always loud. Sometimes it's just showing up again and again while you still can. So if you still have parents to call, if you still have a home to go back to, if you still have time, don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't wait until it's too late. Just take the train. They'll be waiting.